Welcome to Ask Ms. ERP. The topic of this video is how to choose an implementation partner. Hello everyone, Ms. ERP here. In the previous video, I focused more on internal employee resources, and I will now cover how to choose an implementation partner for your large enterprise system implementation or upgrade. It is possible that you will not need a partner if you have the right skills in-house. But I have yet to see one of these complex projects where additional help is not required. First, you need to decide what type of partner you are looking for. There are typically three kinds. The first is staff augmentation, usually to meet a specific skill need. The second is consulting, similar to staff aug, but usually just providing advice and not actually executing tasks. The third, and usually the most common, is the system integrator, in which you can hope to receive expertise in both managing and executing your project. This is the type of partner that I will focus on for the rest of this video. Generally referred to as an SI, and I will refer to them as such or as a vendor. You may already have a partner for your existing enterprise system, perhaps performing operational support. Obviously, they are a good candidate to consider for your new project, but that will depend on how impressed you are with their current services. I would suggest a request for proposal, or RFP, would be a good idea regardless, just so that you know what your options are. If you do go with your current service provider, be aware that the resources that will be assigned to your project are likely not the same ones that will support your system for the long term. So treat the SI project team like a different company regardless, and ensure that there is formal documentation and sign-off of handover to operations, even if it is the same vendor. Assuming that you are going to RFP for your system integrator partner, the first step is to be clear on what you are looking for. Along with specific skills, roles, and responsibilities, you need to be clear on your visions and goals for your project and your expectations for communication and collaborative leadership. Speaking of leadership, be very clear, especially within your own company, as to who is accountable for overall delivery of results. In my opinion, you cannot outsource accountability, so that needs to stay with you. Even if you hire someone to drive the bus on your behalf, it is still your responsibility to ensure that the bus is delivering what you want it to. To come up with a short list of candidates, listen to recommendations, particularly from your product vendor, as they will know who are the best SIs for their specific product in your region. If you are implementing more than one product, that might lend itself to having more than one partner. If this is the case, make sure that they know that the expectations are to play nice with the other vendors. Ideally, they will all be so focused on your success that vendor allegiances will be invisible. Pay attention to any references provided and follow up with their customers. Even better if you can find some customers to talk to that are not on their reference list, as of course the SI will provide you only happy references. Another possible candidate might be a vendor that has really invested in the relationship with your company. I personally prefer those who have kept up the contact as a consultative partner and have taken the time to get to know my company. In other words, friendship before marriage. SIs may advertise that they have a status with a product vendor, for example, platinum or gold or whatever. This status is not always based on skills, but could be a factor of their influence of product sales, or how many advertising dollars they have invested. If the SI does have a product vendor status, how are they going to use that status to benefit you, the customer? Some product vendors require implementation partners to be certified in their software, which is great. Just make sure that you are actually going to get the resources that are certified, not all their newbies. The more clear you are on your expectations, the better results you will get from doing an RFP. Cultural fit is very important. In reality, you would like your partner to be sensitive to different corporate cultures, even across business areas, which means being able to deal with different approaches and styles. How will they handle the inevitable project issues? Will they be innovative and creative and suggest alternative solutions? How will they coach you in best practices or escalate if they see you backing yourself into a corner? How will they convey to you what is achievable and what is not? Really, you want them to demonstrate transparency and not to be afraid to raise concerns while always putting you, the customer, first. Advise your candidates not to oversell themselves and be accurate on what they can offer. Honesty is still the best policy. Also, watch out for a focus on selling you more. Sometimes appropriate, sometimes not, but hugely annoying if there is too much of it. Vendor viability and long-term stability needs to be considered. Make sure you understand a possible SI's corporate profile, things like size, location, and reputation. You do not want to choose a partner and then have them desert you mid-project. You will want to know if the company has ever been sued and why. Ask a few questions on the administrative side. For example, will they adjust invoicing to suit you? In my past, I encountered an SI that insisted on bi-weekly billing, while we, the customer, preferred monthly invoices. A bit of a red flag that they could not cover a longer liability time frame. Also a good idea to ask for third-party attestations. For example, will they provide the ability to audit them, or to at least receive their annual audit reports? Most important is a partner's experience. Obviously, they need to know the app that you are implementing. If this is a big project, do they have experience with large programs? How many implementations have they done? How many of these were unsuccessful and why? Do they have experience with your industry? Specifically around best practice project management, you should ask to see their implementation methodology and what types of meetings, reporting, and other communications that they will provide. How do they ensure that they are delivering quality results? How will overall success be measured? You need to think about these items early on, ideally in the RFP process. Ask some detailed questions about their resources. Can they provide rapid delivery of additional resources if needed? And where? If remote isn't a fit, do you need these folks to be local? Or are you willing to pay for travel expenses? How do they recruit their staff? How do they retain them? How much training have they provided their staff recently? Are they highly skilled and up to date in the specific areas that you really need the help? Pricing will also be important, but do not let it be the defining criteria. You always get what you pay for, and the cheapest may not be the best option. More important is, do they have a transparent cost structure? For example, a fixed price fee or time and materials. A good question to ask is how they will handle changes to scope, which are inevitable. Will you get nickeled and dimed and have to spend a lot of time on creating and signing change orders? Or can you define some mutually agreed parameters to work within? Will your partner have commitment for the long term? This doesn't necessarily mean that they will be staying past the end of the project, but will they be able to create accurate and useful documentation of the as-built and transition all that valuable knowledge to the operations team? This will leave a positive legacy and is a win-win for both the vendor and the customer in the long term. Hopefully these suggestions will help you pick the absolute best implementation partner to ensure your ERP implementation or upgrade is successful. This concludes the How to Select an Implementation Partner topic. I have a number of ideas for topics for Ask Ms. ERP, but I'm also hoping that you will post questions that perhaps I can help answer. There is a link on askmserp.com to email me to ask questions or suggest topics for future videos. Or you can just add comments on any YouTube video. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you would like to receive notifications of new Ask Ms. ERP videos, please update your YouTube settings as shown. Thanks, and see you on the next video.